Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Settle for More podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Wright, and I have created this space just for you. Yes, you, the woman who is ready to walk out on her fears, step into her dream, and own her power by shifting her mindset from feeling not enough to becoming more than enough, creating a purposeful and fabulous life whilst settling for more. This is actually our eighth episode. Oh my goodness, time is really going by so quickly. I can't believe that we are already in August. Wow. But welcome to the eighth episode of the Settle for More podcast. And this podcast was inspired by a conversation that I had with my business coach earlier on this week. I was telling her, everything I wanted to do for the next year because we were actually mapping out a plan, and there's an event that I want to get off the ground, and I'm getting super excited about that. So if you're in the GTA, please keep your ears close to this podcast because I am going to be hosting an event come early fall. I also told her about other things I was envisioning and seeing in my mind's eye, and I do believe that if I can see it, then I can truly believe it. So if I can hold it in my mind, then I definitely can hold it in my hand. And so, we're talking, and I was getting so excited, and then she said to me, why, like, why do you want to do this, Nicole? I can tell you're excited, I can tell you're passionate, but why? And that question really threw me for a loop because I thought, yeah, why do I want to do this? Why am I doing this anyway? Why am I doing all these things that I'm doing? And so it led me to start thinking about you. And oftentimes, we find ourselves going around and around in circle, or we're not able to get things off the ground, or we find ourselves in places and spaces and relationships where we're really not being celebrated. We're just being tolerated, yet we remain. We have friends who are not celebrating us, friends who don't appreciate us, friends who are not honoring our values and don't see the worth of the friendship, but we remain. We oftentimes stay in jobs where we don't feel as though we're being appreciated or recognized for the job that we're doing, and within your heart and in your soul that you're giving all that you have and then some. You're staying in a marriage or a relationship where it's going nowhere, yet uh you continuously stay in the pain without having the courage to walk out of those types of situations. And so once you understand your why, it is one of life's greatest joy to wake up in the morning, as a matter of fact, every single morning, with a clear sense of why that day matters. Why every day matter? Why is it important for us to understand our purpose, right? Why are we here? What are some of the things that we're meant to do? What really lights our soul? What really ignites our dreams? What keep us going on and on and on, even though sometimes we may be redirected, we may start something and we may be so passionate and so determined, but yet still something happens and we just let go of the dream that we have. So, yesterday I recorded this podcast and I was super pumped, super excited. And when I hit the save button, my device just froze. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I just spent like 30 minutes recording and now I have absolutely nothing. Oh, but today I am here and I'm re recording this. And at the end of this podcast, I will share with you my why. Why have I decided to take myself and my life from being confined to just four walls of an organization or of my home? Why do I share my life with you? Why do I share my experiences with you? Why do I share my joys with you, my failures with you, my successes with you? Why? So it is important that you understand your why. And so to start this journey of inspiration, because this is actually the start of an inspiring journey. I'm super excited. I can't get my words out today. But this is actually the start of an inspiring journey, your inspiring journey. So nothing gives a person greater feeling or that inner feeling of wholeness and peace, like a distinct understanding of where they're going. Fulfillment is a right. It is your right. It's not just a privilege. It's something that you're entitled to. It's your abundant birthright. Finding fulfillment in life starts with understanding exactly why. Why do you do what you do? Or why do you not do what you know you're supposed to do? So we live in a world that is filled with constant distractions. There are unlimited activities floating around us, always trying to grab our attention, trying to get our attention, trying to, take us off track, trying to not let us focus on the things that are important. Unfortunately, the ones that screams the loudest is the one that wins, right? So sometimes it's not the most important things that win, it's actually the ones that screams the loudest. And a simple way to improve your life and to really be focusing on the things that are important is to discover your personal why. Not your kids' why, not your husband's why, not even your organization's why, but your personal why. And when you have discovered that, then your job is to make sure that you're aligning that with everything else. So most people live their lives by focusing on what they must do. And unfortunately, sometimes this includes the endless amount of tasks that they have. And these endless tasks, they continue to mount up. And we wonder why we feel like we're never ever getting ahead. It's just like a hamster on a wheel. We're going around and around in a circle. Or you feel like we're sprinting on the treadmill, just really trying to keep up. And every task that you complete is quickly replaced by new ones. So you're jack of all trades and master of none. You start something, you don't finish it, or you may not even be given the opportunity to finish it because it's replaced with something else. You have an interest and you're really heading down that path, and then something else pops up, which is usually the things that's screaming the loudest, and the thing that you're working on, you automatically drop that to start something else. And that is because you haven't taken the time to really understand your why. Sometimes you're sitting on a dream, you're sitting on a desire, you're sitting on your goals, and you haven't moved ahead only because you've not discovered your personal why. So once you understand your why, then you'll be able to clearly articulate what is it that makes you light up? What is it that makes you feel fulfilled? And you'll be able to better understand what drives your behavior when you're at your natural best. So when are you most engaged? When you're able to determine that and to ascertain that, when you are actually fulfilled and you're able to identify that those periods or those times in your life, when you can actually do that, you'll have a point of reference for everything that you do going forward. You will be able to make intentional choices for your business, for your career, and just for your life in general. You will be able to inspire others to connect with you, and you'll also be able to build quality relationships. Now, life will get a lot simpler when you stop to ask yourself, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why do we do the things that we do? Which drives you then to ask yourself, why am I here? What is my main reason for being here? What is my why? Now, this is not some big mysterious question that you will have to ponder for a lifetime. It sounds deep, and it is deep. But it is just something that you get to decide for yourself. And guess what? You can change your why at any time, right? So, my suggestion to you will be to sit down and to ask yourself, what is the list of things that are most important to you in your life right now? And I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, so I'm going to get into this. I find it helpful when you write things down that you really love doing. So grab your journal, pull out a device that you're able to use for recording, and ask yourself, what are some of the things that I really love to do? Maybe it's spending time with friends and family. Maybe it's doing a hobby. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's traveling. The answers are going to be different for every single person listening to this podcast today. But what lights your soul? When do you come alive, right? What is important? What is important to you? It's going to be very hard, my gems, for you to be able to improve your life if you don't know what improvement looks like for you personally. And in order to do that, in order to talk about development, self leadership, personal development of any kind, you're gonna have to determine what is important and what does improvement looks like for you personally. So when you've written down your list, then you're going to be refining your list and you're going to be prioritizing on that list. So once you have that initial list of what do you love to do, you want to look at what's important to you. You do that by asking yourself why you love it and why it's important to have it in your life right now. If you don't have it, then you need to ask yourself, why don't I have it? So if you've identified traveling as something that's important, then ask yourself, why is it important? And if it's so important for me to have right now, then what are some of the obstacles, the challenges, the barriers that I'm facing? Why don't I have it? Right? And you will find that your list will get more and more refined as time goes on. But start there, right? You also want to look at how much time you put into the activities that you love. So if you've said to me, Nicole, I just love cooking. I love finding new recipes. I love trying new things. I really, really, really get fired up, or my soul really comes alive, or I feel so ignited when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking. Then I'm going to be surprised if you're not spending a lot of time doing the things that you love. And if you're not, ask yourself what is preventing you from doing that. Can you schedule in some time to do that? And do you get to spend as much time that you'd like with the things that you have on the list that you love? Or do they get pushed back and they take a back seat to the other task in your daily life? This is really something for you to really sit down and ask yourself. So if you've made a list of the things that you're doing in your life, right, then you probably need to find a bunch of things that you're loving. And what you'll probably identify as well, if you list your daily activities, you'll probably find a bunch of things that you are doing that you really don't love. Yeah. Yep. And these things are maybe sometimes important. Sometimes these things are urgent, but are they valuable? Right? So some people may hate cooking while others will love it. Everyone is unique, and it's all about finding what you personally want to be doing, what really fills you up. So not what you feel you should be doing, or not what other people has prescribed or society has prescribed for you to do, but what do you want to be doing, right? And it is easy, I know that, to fill our lives up with things that really don't add value, or things that really, really don't matter to us. And the trick is to ask yourself, how do you go about spending less time doing things that are unimportant and more time doing the things that we love? It is not a perfect process. We live in the real world, right? So you may not be able to drop everything right now, but as you focus from this point on, you'll be amazed at the results. So I want you to go out each and every day being intentional, being excited about the day, because you've taken the time to understand your why. Always ask yourself, why? So whenever a new item comes across your plate or place, simply ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it important for you to join the new committee at your child's school? Or would your time be more better spent, or would it be more effective to spend your time with the children instead? Does it matter if you miss time at the gym at lunch because your boss needs you to work overtime? Or is your fitness break more important to you? And sometimes it's kind of hard to say no to the bosses, right? However, if you've missed, let's say you go on a walk during lunchtime, but unfortunately a meeting was scheduled, are you not going to make sure that when you get home, and fitness is important to you, that you take the dog or you take your children and you go for a walk to the park, right? As I said before, everybody would be different. Some will rank career over fitness, while others will rank it in the reverse, right? What matters is that you're making the choice to do what is right for you. It may sound simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. And our world is full of expectations that are placed on us by other people, sometimes even by ourselves, right? We're expected to be super women and super people that run around and accomplish a number of things every day. We're expected to be great at work, then you're expected to come home and be great. And people will often look at you strangely when they ask you how you are and you don't tell them you're busy, right? With this frantic look in your eyes, because it's the norm now for everybody to be busy and busy doing nothing. It's funny I should say that. I just came back from watching Christopher Robins with my son. If you haven't seen that film, it's a really powerful film that really speaks to embracing today. And sometimes it's the nothing. It's just being in that moment and doing nothing that will get you to the something. Now, it may sound a little bit off, but what I mean is that sometimes you may choose not to be running around. You may choose not to be taking on all this task. You may just want to bask in the moment, right? Maybe this is where your ideas are coming from, or maybe it's important for you to enjoy this moment of nothingness with your child, just being there, right? And make sure that you're making this decision for you, because once you start examining your life through the lens of why, you'll start asking yourself, what's important to me? Then you need to step away from society's expectation and start focusing on and really reflecting on your own expectations instead. When you do that, you'll see the world from an entirely different viewpoint, and you will be free to improve your life in any area that truly matters to you once you've understood your why. Understanding your why, it's important, and what it does, it provides you with guiding principles as to what you do and how you do it. It informs people of your reason for being, right? It also determines your behavior in general. It reflects your values. And I can't talk about how important it is that when you're making decisions, try and ensure that they're in alignment with your values. It determines the sort of individuals or the sort of relationship that you participate in. Having a clear why gives you the context for everything you do in your life. So ask yourself, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I not doing the things that I desire to do? Understanding why we do what we do, it really comes with deep reflection, the reflection of self. It comes with an awareness that really makes you come alive, that really makes your heart beat. It's the reason that you should be jumping out of bed and really getting to doing the things that you want to do, right? So you should really take the time to understand your why. Your why provides clarity. Your why gives you a sense of fulfillment. Your why is really the reason that you should be up and about and trying to please and trying to create. And I've had to ask myself why. Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I get up every morning and I make videos and I post them on social media? Why is it important to me that when I go to a function, usually I find myself in the corner coaching someone, right? Or talking to someone about moving forward and really getting a mindset shift so that he or she can really live the life that they truly desire and deserve. And why is a question that I ask myself every morning before I start my day. And the answer to this, because I know you're going to say, okay, Nicole, what is your why? So the answer to this question is the answer is something that really keeps me motivated day in and day out to do the work that I do and to really love what I do. And the simple answer is that I help women achieve mindset makeovers, mindset shift, creating freedom and giving themselves permission to be who they want to be as they go about filling their soul's purpose, because that is what I was created to do. It is my purpose, it is my passion, it is my power, it is my why. It enables me to come alive. And so A few years ago, I walked through what we'll call the valley of the shadow of death, and I was able to go through that and fear absolutely no evil because I was well aware that I was being prepared for moments like this. Right? I knew that individuals would need to hear of my triumph so that they could have a better life, so that they could have a better understanding as to why they're here. I know that God or the universe was preparing me to do this work that I am doing today. This is why I was created. I was created to be a vessel through which transformation would take place. I've answered the call to do this and to do this passionately because I know it's a calling on my life. I know it's my universal purpose, right? When individuals connect with me, they experience an awakening to their soul's purpose, and they no longer suffer from limited beliefs, from feelings of insufficiency, from feelings of inadequacies. I believe and I know that we were all created with unlimited potential to live a life of abundance, and I want to be that catalyst through which you, my gem, will experience transformation. I also believe that whatever you desire, my gem, you can achieve it. But it all begins with you starting with where you have, using what you have. Right? It all begins with where you are using what you have because I truly believe that what you have in any moment in time is enough. I had to release all the thoughts and all the feelings that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't pretty enough. I know what it feels like to feel undervalued. I know what it feels like to not be recognized. I know what it feels like to not be appreciated. And because of how painful it was, I refuse to have suffered in vain. And because of that, I am choosing to share my story. I'm choosing to use all the messy things that has happened to me as my message so that you will not have to experience the same pain that I went through. And I had to say enough already. I had to say that I was taking my power back. I had to say enough with the excuses, enough with the empty promises, and that's to myself. Enough of running away from my soul's calling. Enough, enough, enough with it already. Deep inside my soul, the word enough means so much to me because it echoed in my head and in my heart when my soul just opened up. And I want the same for you. That is my why. Right? I recognize that no longer did I need validation and definition from other people to experience my fulfillment in my life. No longer did I need people and their ever changing perceptions and expectations for who I was and who I should be and what principles I should use to govern me. Because life taught me and life had shown me when I got to that moment that just as people would sing you praises and they will tell you you're great, you're amazing, the minute that you no longer fit into their mold, they replace that crown of amazing with average, with ordinary. And so to them, you become nothing and you start diminishing if you're not standing in the power of who you are. I had enough. That was it. And I had to make sure that I made the decision that I was going to live my life on my terms because I had lived my life on everyone else's terms and was not being true to who I was. And I was really not doing what I really wanted to do with my life, which is what I'm doing today. I've always known that my purpose was to serve and to empower others, but I kept putting it off for the right time. And the time that is the right time is there's no such time as the right time. I had to really label a time as the right time and to start, right? Because what I was doing was I was working in everybody else's time and doing what they expected of me. But who was I kidding? I was just terrified. I was just afraid. I didn't think I was good enough. Oh my God, I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was qualified enough. I didn't think I was pretty enough. My God, I had all these feelings of insufficiencies. In a nutshell, my gem, what I know is that I was you. And this may be where you are today. So go back to your why. Why is it that you constantly remain in places where you're not celebrated? Why is it that you're sitting on an idea waiting for the right time? Why is it that you want to start that business, that calling, that book? why is it that you desire to leave the job that you have and go out and start searching for something? Why are you not doing the thing that you were called to do? Why? 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 You see, I had to become intentional about pursuing my passions to motivate you, right? And women just like you. I want you to be able to lose thoughts of limitations and to become aware of your unlimited potential and to really be that person that you see. Today, I want to encourage you to do that, to avoid the pain that I experience and say yes. Yes to your why, yes to your calling, yes to your purpose. Don't wait to be pushed like I was. If you're ready and willing to live an authentic life expressing your true identity, your true self, then start with why. I believe that you were created to have an amazing life, that you were created to have an abundant life, that you were created to have a purposeful life. And I also know that if you want to live a life of success, a life of fulfillment, a life of happiness, you must take the time to understand your why. You must find your purpose. Because if you don't know your why, and if you don't know what drives you, what inspires you, then you will have no desire or no reason to improve your life. I believe and I know that you were created to do amazing things, but you have to take the time. You have to take a moment to ask yourself, why? My gem, you alone, just as you are more than enough. It is time to stop and ask yourself why and settle for more.